Hi, everyone. Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. My privilege today is to welcome back Bubba Startz. How you doing, Bubba?
I am fantastic this morning, Teresa. Thanks for having me back.
I am so happy to see you, my friend. Bubba's been on our show before. You'll remember him from way back and probably earlier in our podcast. And we kind of developed a good relationship for supporting each other and on Instagram and on Facebook and all of that, getting kind of promoting each other's talk show. So it was really my pleasure to have you back today, Bubba. And I want to talk about what you're doing now. Talk to us about your business. I know you're doing a lot with your podcast, where you're going and what's happening.
Yeah, well, when we had first spoken earlier this year, we'd kind of just moved into the YouTube space. We had been doing audio only for the first 9 months or so that we were doing it. We started in March, I guess, of 2024. And just recently we passed 1,000 uploads and 250,000 views on our YouTube page. And we support independent musicians and artists, but also support a lot of nonprofit causes. Like you can see the banner behind me, Operation Combating Veteran Suicide, that we found need help promoting themselves. And that was kind of the mission. We understand that the scene projects are a promotion engine. We do it better than most. We're content creators. In April, we won the Content Creator of the Year award from our Midwest Country Music Organization. So 2025 has been full of a lot of work, but a lot of rewarding opportunities for us as well. So it's been really thrilling to just continue to put the work in every single day. You know, we do 10 plus interviews a week, it seems like, and we're scheduled out, 6 months on episodes already, but we don't stop because I also have a music career. And this year when I went on tour for the summer, the podcast kind of fell behind. And now I'm committed to making sure that everything stays afloat at the same time, or balls in the air, to throw a juggling reference in there, and to keep everything moving at a breakneck pace is kind of the goal. And it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding work, and we continue to just grow in every area. And I'm just thrilled to see your growth as well. Podcasters and independent people in this space mean just as much to us as our artists and musicians do. So it's been thrilling to watch you continue to grow and develop your show as well.
Thanks, Bubba. I appreciate that. And truly, we have watched each other grow. We kind of went in different directions because we had different visions for our show. And that's the beauty of doing a podcast or a talk show or whatever. You kind of get to find your own audience, your own niche, your own world. And that's what happens. But the nice thing is the variety allows us all to help each other. So I think that's terrific, Bubba. I know you help musicians. Let's talk about that. Are these up and coming? And we did kind of touch base on it the last interview we had, but tell the viewers, these are musicians that one are up and coming or are already established. What have you got there? And then if some musicians here now and wants to kind of follow with you, we'll make sure that they can connect. How's that?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. The doors are wide open. So we interview a lot of what you would call up and coming acts, but there's been several people on our show that have been doing this for decades and are just maybe at a point in their careers where they're maybe restarting after, taking a break and, either having kids and raising them and coming back in, or just didn't have that footing. And for me, I'm just so impassioned to help everyone in the music business. I know, being a musician myself, and I thank you for the last time I was on, I got to play some of my songs, that I know what it's like for these people, right? That there's not a lot of outlets for us to promote ourselves on someone else's channels, right? We're all told that we have to be our own channel and you have to build all these things. And really for me, it was just so boring talking about myself all the time.
Yeah.
And to find a way to to not look at me, but look at these people. Look at all these people that are next to me, my brothers and sisters in this business that are so talented, and a lot of them so much more talented than I am. Look at them and go listen to their music. And recently we just started the Scene Projects radio network. So we have on Live 365, we have our own station, and now we're able to share their music and not just the interviews. It's been great to have all of these artists on, and every week we do a live show on our YouTube we call Love Noise. So you can find that on the Scene Project's YouTube page every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central, where we have an artist on and we have them, instead of just interviewing and learning about them, we get to learn about the songs. Right. And we talk about them and their career, in between, but it's really about playing the songs, spending some time talking about them, how they were inspired to write it or the process, whatever it is, and just having great conversations. And I think that's what both of us do so well is we're able to have great conversations with people from all walks of life. And I think that's really what has drawn me to podcasting originally as a fan, but then has really emboldened me to go out there and to keep scheduling, dozens of interviews every week and to just keep talking to people. I mean, it's one of my greatest joys in life, and I can't imagine doing anything else at this point.
That's amazing. I know you've moved rapidly too, Bubba. Honestly, since you started, I commend you for one, the work you're doing, for helping other people, for doing your nonprofit, for being a musician, all of those things. You've got all the energy in the world and you're making it all happen. And I'm quite impressed by that. So well done. That's very good. The other thing is for the young musicians, I agree with you. It is hard to break in and kind of separate yourself from the rest of the world, if you will. And especially if you're talented, even you can have all the talent in the world, but you need the exposure, don't you?
Yeah. And what we've strived to build is not just the community of artists, but also a community of listeners that are there. And that's kind of what the podcast created, is that we have all of these people that are out there now listening to us, and they take to heart the people that we introduce them to. Now, every musician isn't for every fan, but the larger our community grows, that you're going to find your favorite artist through the Scene Projects. And what we've been able to build beside that is the Midwest Original Music Organization, and our MOMOs, as I like to call them, are the artists themselves. So we're able to educate the artist into what they can do to improve their careers, to give them a little bit of a roadmap out here in a changing music industry. So we educate artists with half of our time, and then the other side is promoting those same artists to the fan base that's out there and seeking out new music, whether it's on YouTube or Apple Podcast or our new radio station. And I think we're just about ready to break into iHeartRadio as well, and to start to access some different avenues to promote not just music, but the musicians and their stories, because I think that's really what the world is craving right now, is not just a new artist and a new song, especially with AI music out here. They want to be a biggest fan of someone, right? They want to be super fans, and to watch someone go from relative obscurity to superstardom. And I think that's why, shows like The Voice and American Idol and all those, that they were so popular to begin with. Well, now you can tap into our little community and see it for yourself. We're producing live shows with these artists we call Songwriter showcases. We've done a few different contests and things like that as well. But it's about just continuing to grow. We're brand new. We haven't even been around for 2 years yet. And the sky is really, the sky is the first step. The stars and the rest of the universe are the limit. And we're just going to keep on going and attracting more like-minded individuals to us, both in the fan space and in the artist space. And it's been really awesome to watch that grow in real time, from no followers to several thousand across our platforms now, and more people coming in every day that are feeling that vibration of what we're trying to do, and understanding what the scene projects are all about. I say a lot that it's not a me thing, it's a we thing.
Yeah.
It is about all of us involved. And a big part for us is the education side now, the education of our artists, to kind of train them on the new business and what it's going to take. Honestly, getting a lot of them to become podcasters,
Yeah.
but just have their own show, to have weekly content coming out and a chance to connect with fans. Because at the end of the day, Teresa, and you know this better than most, that connection is the goal. To connect with another human being out there is the real goal, I think, for every podcaster and every musician as well. And how you do that, and how we know that, I think the most effective way is through conversations. And where do people have conversations these days? It's on podcasts. So everyone listening, if you're an artist, if you have any kind of if you have anything, just a regular person, start having conversations with people on Zoom or wherever, and record them and put that out into the world, because that conversation about your life and another person's life may change another life. And it starts that chain reaction, that how we heal ourselves, right? How God heals us, how the universe is healing itself. And it's been a beautiful ride, and it continues to pick up momentum, right? And we're waiting, not waiting, but we know that doing what we're doing, where we're not waiting for a viral moment, and we're not creating content for virality. We're just having good conversations. And when we get that time in the sun, we're all going to grow, right? I'm not growing a garden, we're growing a forest, and that takes time. And when we continue to water that with our weekly shows, and really we post, 5 days a week on our different shows and episodes coming out. But it's waiting for that moment in the sun, right? When Joe Rogan finally calls and has us on, and we get that attention that we've been so desiring. There's a whole forest of people and of these other artists and podcasters that are attached to us, that are going to grow from that as well. So it's just a matter of continuing to make ourselves valuable to our community. And I think the best way to do that is by educating and by engaging with fans and with our artists every single week.
That's fantastic, Bubba. You really are giving them a chance to have a voice. And that's what is amazing about these podcasts and talk shows. And it's funny you mentioned Joe Rogan. He certainly has paved the road for everyone. I will also add, being authentic and being yourself, getting out there and really putting it all out there, I think makes a huge difference. You said it, the viewers say, if Bubba can do it, I can do it. Or if another person you have on shows them, look, I'm just starting out and I took the first step. Sometimes that's all it takes, is seeing, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And you're absolutely right. I have a lot of people on my show that are just bringing their story forward, Bubba, and you know what? It resonates with viewers. Then they tune in and say, oh my goodness, and they'll connect with my guest rather, and just thank them so much for coming on and sharing their stories of heart. And that's what it's all about. And you're bringing musicians forward, and your podcast allows for them to bring their heart forward, if you will. I want to also talk to you, Bubba. Let's switch gears a little bit here, because you actually have another process that you're doing. And I want you to bring that forward, because that actually helps people as well, fellow podcasters and talk show hosts that can actually come on your platform. Can we go there, or is this a good time for that? Good. Let's talk about that.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, and so I mentioned the Midwest Original Music Organization, but we've also developed the Midwest Podcasting Network and the Midwest Podcasting Organization. I live in the United States here, really in the middle of nowhere. I live in a town of 1,000 people that is, an hour and a half from anything. It is a very rural area. So I've seen I'm not limited by my location though, right? We have the internet. We've been able to connect with people around the world. And now what we've really strived to do is to teach other people how to do it, to give them the confidence to go do it. And I don't think there's a better example of that than our co-host, Wild Willie Thornton. Willie, I met at an event that I played some music at, and and was there just to support, called Vibe Fest in a small town in Summersville, Missouri. A good friend of ours, Campground, was hosting, Captain Jack's RV Park and Campground down there in Summersville. Shout out to Leo and Carrie. But he approached me about a week after that and was like, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, oh, you'd be great. Like, I'd already had a conversation with him all weekend, and was like, no, you'd be perfect. Here's how you're going to start it, right? Get Zoom, get a calendar, and just start talking to musicians and artists if that's what you want to do, or whoever, right? Whoever you want to get on, and you kind of have a target guest. Start reaching out to these people, and most of them would be more than happy to come on to you. And now he's got over 50 episodes, I think, out just since June or July. And he's becoming a mentor for other podcasters that are just getting started. So now we've seen the success of, oh, we are more than capable of teaching other people how to do this. And when they're willing to listen and to invest their time and maybe a little bit of money, this isn't free necessarily to do it. You can post on YouTube for free, but some of the tools we have, whether it's a social media tool or it's, our email marketing or our website builders or things like that, they matter and they're necessary, but with a very small investment, you can grow your own podcast, and every podcast is its own network, and every network is its own community, and every community changes lives, right? So it's just a matter of planting that seed of an idea in the heads of as many people as we can to say, hey, you're more than capable of doing it. If you can, click a few buttons on Zoom or on any, several different platforms that are available, you can have these same kind of conversations, and you can sit in front of a camera and ultimately change people's lives. And what's better than that?
Oh, absolutely. It's wonderful. And you're allowing people to come on, and you're promoting them. And as you said, for a fee, but they come on and they can kind of grow with your organization, and you help them with the technical, right? In the background. And
yes, well, and that's part of it. I think so many people get intimidated because they're not techies, as I know I've heard you say before, or they're
I'm
not.
one of them.
Yeah. Well, and we want to, some of the tools that we have are very expensive, but we're able to plug people into those at a subsidized price because we can include everyone and then help them move along. And everyone's on a different point. Everyone's at a different point on their journey, right? So it's really about meeting people where they're at. Use the free resources first. And if you decide that this is something you want to pursue, then you can kind of take those next steps up the ladder and to continue to grow. And yeah, the top of that, I guess, is kind of being a part of the Scene Project's network and the people that are really doing it and that we identify as having the grit and determination necessary to keep up with us. Because if you're not going to be putting out, not necessarily as much content as I am, I have 4 shows that I post weekly, at least. Sometimes it's more than that and on-site coverage. But can you keep up with a weekly posting schedule? Are you going to be posting daily on your social media and doing those things? And we want to see a little bit of proof of that, right? But it doesn't take long for us to identify those podcasters or artists that are out there that are worthy of the next level up, to be included in our network, to be able to kind of catapult from us. It's about building a platform that we can launch other people from. And I hope that the people that we help become 10 times more successful than we are by shortening their learning curve, right? It's taken me 1.5 years to get to here. Well, now I can plug people in and within a month or 2, get them to the same level that I'm at, because they don't have to sit there and to learn all the things and to stumble as many times as I have. I can cut that part of the journey out and now deliver you up to where, okay, well, you're starting from where we're at now, not from where we were 18 months ago.
Right.
And moving you along at a much faster rate. And then you're able to learn and grow with us, but also to be inspired to go farther. We want to see people that succeed beyond our wildest dreams. And because we're busy building the platform, sometimes we're not able to launch ourselves as far as we necessarily want to in the short term, knowing that we have a much longer term plan. We're building out very, very wide instead of building up tall first. And like I said, I equate it to planting a forest, right? That you plant all of them out along that stretch, and then everyone can rise together. And it's not about planting that one seed and just watering that and growing that and then going, okay, well, now I'm going to plant other things in the shade of that tree. No, we're going to plant all the trees right now. And like I said, we're going to water all of that. And when we get our time in the sun, then everybody's going to grow together. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. And I think that's our future. That's the next 12 months, right? Of really growing this. And I think we talked about it on my program with you just last week, that going on the road and connecting with people face to face, that's the goal, right? Is to get out and to take this show on the road and to go out and to meet these people that are following the show, or the guests that are being on it, to go out and to meet them and to shake their hand and to give them a big hug. That's the ultimate goal. It's not about just growing a podcast following. It's about being able to grow a physical community that we've been able to connect with online. And I think that is needed, especially with the way that our world is today. We need more face-to-face connection. We need to be able to see and hear people. And there's nothing wrong with starting those relationships online. I mean, I think we talked about dating a little bit on my show with you, and that most, intimate relationships are starting online now. So why any different for new friendships?
They are. And I met you online here with the internet. I've met people in UK and Iceland. And you're right, when and that's what we were talking about. Other people are even dating online, where you used to meet in person. Now you're dating online. It's the most, for me, it's very bizarre because I'm used to the face-to-face. But then there's the flip side. You and I have never met, but I know you. I feel like I've known you for 100 years online. So we've gotten used to the online. But you're right, the personal side has to be, it has to be an element. I was talking to a guest of my own last week, and she said, Teresa, I've watched your show for a long time. Where are you going with it now? You're at this point of a crossroads. And she's absolutely right. For the first time, I thought, wow. And now I'm looking at venturing and seeing my guests and going to their places. And that's just something new that's coming on. And the new year is going to bring all new things. And there's some plans. So you're right, Bubba. We always have to keep growing. And you've done a lot at once. And that's good. I took it one step at a time, and that's my pace. And other people may want to do kind of half and half. But whatever the case, anybody can do this. Anybody can come on or call you if they want to get started, Bubba. And you can, as you said, exponentially, you can get them up there quicker. It took me time too. I've done my time, and you have to kind of realize there's going to be some challenges along the way, and whatever we can do to help people remove those challenges, that's great. And one thing I will tell you, I think we mentioned it on the podcast too, a lot of podcasters are very supportive of each other, and it's a world that if you're not in it, you may not understand it. So the people who are in it do want to help, because they know those challenges, and when we help each other, we all move quicker and bigger, don't we?
Yes. And I got to see just how tight-knit the podcast community is when I attended Podcast Movement down in Grapevine, Texas, just this last August. We were awarded a scholarship ticket. And regardless of whether it was going to be, 30 plus hours of round trip driving for me to get there, I was not going to disrespect them by not showing up. And so I really kind of moved a lot of things around in my personal schedule when we found out that, we were being gifted this great opportunity. But it didn't take me long to make a lot of new friends, to meet, someone that I've grown to respect immensely, Alex Sanfilippo, who built Podmatch with his wife, Alicia. And that has been an incredible resource for me to connect with not just guests, but other podcasters, and to have them on my show and vice versa, and being on their show, and to get to talk about what we're all doing, and to hear all the different areas of life that we come from, right? We all come from such different backgrounds, but have found a passion for conversation. And that's what was really inspiring to me, being down there and getting to, it was my first time around that many podcasters,
Yeah.
right? And a whole conference room full of them and everyone engaging. And I got to meet Adam Curry, who, has been dubbed the Podfather by Joe Rogan, right? He's been doing it longer than anyone. And a lot of what he said in his speech that he gave was to find a community, find the community that you're in. You don't have to go out and
No.
to find 1 million followers and have thousands of downloads every episode to be impactful. And really, that's what we're after. We just want to have an impact on the world around us. And the best way to do that is to find the communities that you're already a part of. For me, it's been diving into our local high school sports teams and supporting them with our podcast and showing up with the coach once a week and talking about the football team. That's having an impact. If one of these young men receive a scholarship because of the tape that we're going over, right? How great is that? Right.
Yeah,
And
right.
more than any listener or a sponsor or advertisers, more than any dollar amount could ever deliver to me, that is what's important. And I stay very focused on that. It's probably why I don't have a lot of money right now, but also that is all the money is downstream from the impact, right? Like if you're impacting the world, people are going to see that.
Yeah.
And then the money and the support of what you're doing will come. And we're kind of in the all or nothing game, right? Where I wasn't looking for a small trickle of support. We need a tidal wave of support. Well,
Yeah.
how do you get that? You have to be a tidal wave of impact then.
Yeah.
And supporting our musicians was one thing, but now supporting our local community adds a totally different element. So any podcasters that are listening, I encourage you to, maybe it's not your location community. Maybe it's a nonprofit that you support. Maybe it's a cause that you really care about. Anything can be a community, and you could be the voice for that community. And that's what really came across to me while I was there. And it was shortly after I heard Adam's speech that I kind of took the headphones off that they gave us. I put them in the bin and I said, if that's what a lot of people here came to hear, I'm way ahead of that, because that's all I've done. That's what I set out to do from the get-go. And not that there wasn't some really amazing speakers that were talking about, the new tech and all those things. All of that doesn't matter to me. I have this camera, I have this microphone. They have already been working for us. We just need to keep doing what we're doing.
Right.
And I think that's maybe the biggest piece of advice, is that none of this is going to happen overnight.
No.
Right? It does not happen instantly. And if you're going to get discouraged easily, I mean, maybe podcasting isn't for you.
Yeah, I agree
But
with that.
if you have a tremendous amount of resolve and passion for what you're talking about, there's nothing that will stand in your way. It's just time. And I think that's our hardest thing, because everything's so instant these days, right? Everything is instant gratification, that it stifles a lot of people, because they expect, 3 months in and they have 12 episodes out that, advertisers are going to be knocking down their door willing to give them thousands of dollars a month. That's not true. But if you prove that you're capable of doing this for a long period of time, when they show up, they're not going to have pennies for you. They're going to have a big bag of money, right? And they're going to be willing to support the causes and to see, but you have to prove your impact. You have to prove that first. And that was something that I realized early on. That's why we got to 100 episodes in 9 months. That's why we've gotten to over 300 episodes inside of 18 months, is because how do we have impact? Well, that's by putting out content.
Yeah.
And if you're not putting out content consistently and at a breakneck volume, that you're going to fall behind people like me that are doing that, right? Or like you, I know your episodes are 4 or 5 times a week, right? You're having a tremendous impact. And while we all crave that support, and it would be nice to not worry about how we're paying for this and that and to have the bills taken care of, I promise you that if you just keep going, that those things are coming. And it's just a matter of not getting discouraged by the lack of followers or the lack of funding or any of it. Just keep going. If you're passionate about it, just keep going, and that break will come to you. I promise you that.
That's very good advice, Bubba. And I would say that to the viewers, that you do have to understand, although it's a wonderful thing to do a podcast, you're absolutely right, Bubba. The remuneration coming back takes a very long time and you have to be patient. But you do have to be consistent, have good content, keep going, and you really have to have confidence in yourself too. And that's a big one. And that's where I do my motivational segments. And I know you're very encouraging to your viewers that when you're doing things, you really have to be confident in yourself. That's the whole thing. And stay with your passion and don't get off it, and you're going to be just fine, right? But I
And
mean,
you said
like
it,
everything, there's
passion.
no guarantees. If you give up, you give up. That's it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's passion is probably the biggest word that we've said today. You have to be passionate about what you're talking about and the impact that you're creating, because if you're not, people will sniff that out right away.
They
And
will.
you'll never gain listeners by half-heartedly talking about anything or anyone.
That's right.
So I think if you're thinking about podcasting and you're interested in getting into it, first find your passion, and then when you have that and you know the community that you want to serve, well, then you can call me and we would love to help you get the groundwork and the physical things that you may need and the encouragement that you may need to keep going. We'll help you with all of that, because if you're passionate, you're going to find the drive to keep going when nobody's listening. And I hate to tell you that for the first 6 months you're doing this, there's probably going to be nobody listening. And
Yep.
that's okay, because you're just finding yourself as a broadcaster or a talk show host or whatever, kind of style of show that you're doing. It's going to take time to do that. There are no overnight successes in this game or in life in general. Some people may look like they had success overnight, but you're not seeing the part of the iceberg that's under the water, right? You're looking at a small fraction of it that's exposed, and you never see the work that someone put into it. So go put in the work.
That's the norm with everything too. Absolutely, Bubba. You have to be patient, do the work, and know that although you see other success stories, don't compare yourself to them, because you don't know their journey. You don't know what got them there. You just have to focus on yourself, stay true to yourself, and you're going to go forward. And that's the main thing. Keep doing a little bit every day, right? Bubba, you've been wonderful today. I know you have the Scene Projects, and the other name of the other company is, please say it again.
The Midwest Original Music Organization is just a Facebook group, but it's all kind of under the Scene Projects umbrella. Even my band Startz and Endz, you can find on thesceneprojects.com. If you click on the services tab, you'll see the full list of things that we do, which starts with our free groups. It's free to join the community and to start educating yourself just by hanging out with us, right? And then when you're ready to take those next steps, there's all kinds of, avenues to go down there, from, just being in our, in our text list to full website development and podcast hosting and everything. So yeah, jump in the groups first, come connect with us, because that's where it all starts. And then who knows where it goes from there.
Perfect, Bubba. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to make sure I have everything for you there. So everyone, this is Bubba Startz. I'm going to have everything in the show notes, all his links, his business, everything he's doing. You're going to be able to follow him on all the social networks. Everything's going to be just wonderful and laid out for you. So we're so happy that you came on today, Bubba. Great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me back, Teresa. And as we continue to grow, I hope I can keep coming back once or twice a year for many, many years to come.
Happy to have you always, Bubba. Absolutely. And thank you for having me on your show. It was very kind of you. And I hope we just keep doing that. I know we're going to keep doing this. We've become friends online. So everyone, do go over to Bubba's channels. I'll make sure it's all here. My name's Teresa Aker. I'm with Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. Do subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate that. I hope you're all having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.